All right, a very good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kirk Mid-Morning this day, the 18th of August 2022. My name is Faith Kaulu. Welcome. We're going to have a very impactful discussion right here today, of course, talking matters education and looking at how the election has disrupted, the education calendar, and are teachers going to cover the syllabus within the time required. That's the discussion for today. So definitely do engage with us on our social media platforms. Facebook and YouTube is Kirk TV Kenya, as well as our SMS line 0111 220044. That is 0111 220044, and we'll be able to look at them. In case you have any questions, of course, students are going back to school today. The streets of Nairobi are full of students in uniform. Of course, the traffic is back because of school buses and parents trying to rush their children back to school. We'll be having a look at that discussion. But right about now, let's have a look at some of the stories that have been making headlines. Let's start with the school reopening, where students are going back to school today. This is as announced yesterday by the CS of Education, Professor George Magoha. Now, parents have raised several questions on the improper planning of school dates and the little time left to cover the school syllabus.
Hata wazazi hawana pesa za kulipia watoto school fees. Fair, sisi tumefanya kuomba. Na sasa hizo naomba mtu siku 2 siku 3 mtu anataka pesa yake. Hali is so hard. Tafadhali kama tutakuja kuenda kwa rira hata kama itafani vipi. Sisi ni amani ndio tunaomba. Lakini tafadhali Kenya please. Kenya is bigger than any other person. Yes. Kenya is bigger than Ruto, Kenya is bigger than Raila, Kenya is bigger than Uhuru. Tafadhali mtupatie amani sisi wenye tuko hapa chini. Na that is what we want, we as Kenyans. Na tafadhali pia mtupelekee kalenda yetu ya shule vizuri. We are tired. We want peace. Yes.
Kwanza kabisa naitwa Julika Chiangomondi, mimi ni mkazi wa Mombasa, maeneo ya Mshomoroni. Saizi kama vile tunavyoona katika pilika za kurudi mashule.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
This is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
This is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
This is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
This is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
This is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Choose life that you may love the Lord your God.
If you delight yourself in the Lord, He will make you fruitful in whatever season you are in.
Listen to His voice and hold fast to Him.
That as disciples ourselves, we're being invited to be transformed more fully every single day.
In our walk with God, let us know that we are assured victory in every battle.
For the Lord is your life.
Live a pure life. Are you living a righteous life before the Lord? It is possible. People are wondering, can you do without corruption? Yes, I can stand and say it is possible to do without corruption.
Don't miss season 2 of the evening epilogue every day at 9:30 p.m. only on Kirk TV.
is just a sample of a seedling. When we are doing the planting, we normally ensure that we just dip the roots in the soil. We don't do any part above the roots. We just do the roots here.
Let us join Lashandra and see what she has for us today.
Yes. So we have our bunny eyes, whiskers and nose and ears. And we have made a very, very simple pen holder.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
So catch Fit to Live every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Together, let's have fun, get fit, and stay healthy. My name is Aida Munzati. I'll be your host for this show. Remember, your health always matters.
Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Hata wazazi hawana pesa za kulipia watoto school fees. Fair, sisi tumefanya kuomba. Na sasa hizo naomba mtu siku 2 siku 3 mtu anataka pesa yake. Hali is so hard. Tafadhali hata kama tutakuja kwenda kwa Rira, hata kama itakuwa ni vipi, sisi ni amani ndio tunaomba. Lakini tafadhali Kenya, please. Kenya is bigger than any other person. Kenya is bigger than Ruto, Kenya is bigger than Raila, Kenya is bigger than Uhuru. Tafadhalini mtupatie amani sisi wenye tuko hapa chini. Na that is what we want, we as Kenyans. Na tafadhali pia mtupelekee kalenda yetu ya shule vizuri. We are tired. We want peace.
Yes. Kwanza kabisa naitwa Kirk Mid-Morning. Mimi ni mkazi wa Mombasa, maeneo ya Mshomoroni. Saizi kama vile tunaona katika pilika za kurudi mashule. Ila shida ambayo tunaona sisi kama wazazi ni kwa mheshimiwa CS Magoha. Unatucheza sana na hii maneno ya funga fungua. Tafadhali utupatie kalenda ile ambayo sisi wazazi tunaweza tukaelewa. Haya, haswa sana wakati mambo na school fees. Period ya shule inakuwa very short, yet school fees inalipwa ikiwa yote. Kwa hivyo tafadhali kama itawezekana, ile ambayo tunalipa kwa second term ambayo second term imekuwa short, watoto wamekuwa very short session kwa shule. Hata kama utaweza kupeleka mbele, maana sasa hizi hali imekuwa ngumu, siasa imetupeleka, situation is very hard. Hapa Kenya tunaishi ni kama vile tuko kama watumwa. Kwenye hii election ambayo ilikuwa, Mr. President, Mheshimiwa Uhuru, tafadhali uende ukaangalie vile ambavyo nchi utaachia mtu ambaye atakuwa anaweza kutusaidia hapo mbele. Manake sisi kama Wakenya ni sisi tunaumia.
Kuongeza basi ni zile kama kawaida ya saa 8:30, saa 9, saa 8:30 ni Migori, saa 9 Malaba, Eldoret Webuye, saa 9:30 ni Mumias na saa 10 Kisumu. Alafu na usiku saa 2:30, saa 3:3:15, saa 4:4:15.
Wanafunzi
wengine zimejaa. Hata leo pia kuna wazazi wengine bado wana wasiwasi kulingana na mambo ya uchaguzi. Wengine bado wana wasiwasi wako 50-50 bado. Lakini wametupa wakati mgumu sana ni. Sababu mwanzo hiyo juzi kwa gari zimejaa full zote. Kufikia saa 8 ikabidi wazazi wote waje waanze tena kubadilisha tarehe ya leo.
Because a new page of history gets written every day. Because breaking news can't wait. Information everywhere. In all situations. On every subject. Understanding the world. Imagining the world. France 24. A different take on the news.
Liberté, égalité, actualité.
Losing a beloved one can be one of the hardest life experiences. Death brings a total change in many setups, the family taking a huge position. Death also provides an opportunity to celebrate the departed and their achievements on earth. Kirk TV provides for you an opportunity to announce death and funeral at affordable fee. For more information, write to us via announcements at kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
We will be proposing actually changing the standing orders so that cabinet secretaries can go to parliament and answer questions. Yes. Cabinet secretaries are public officials. They must be interrogated by parliament. They must go and explain government policy in parliament. And so we will be looking at how we can change the standing orders so that instead of cabinet secretaries going to committees of parliament, they should go to the floor of the House and be asked questions directly by members of parliament.
So catch Fit to Live every Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Together, let's have fun, get fit, and stay healthy. My name is Aida Munzati. I'll be your host for this show. Remember, your health always matters.
We welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us via email info@kirktv.org, SMS 011120044, or call us on 0794 588 054. Communion with a difference. It's easy to set up, no worry of spills, contamination or waste. Prepared with very high hygienic standards and strict quality dedicated equipment. You are rest assured that pre-filled Holy Communion elements are completely protected. We deal with pre-filled communion elements for churches in Kenya and East Africa like the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, CITAM, among many others. The advantages of the pre-filled elements are cost-effective, convenient, portable and ideal for use in virtually any environment, less preparation work, completely hygienic, and we have both altar wine and altar juice. Order now by calling us or sending us a WhatsApp message on 07999 88371. Visit our website www.holycommunionelements.com.
Are you looking to grow your business? Kirk TV offers you a variety of advertising opportunities to suit your budget. Advertise with us today and reach your potential customers countrywide. For more information, email us on sales@kirktv.org or call 011 00 90 647.
Right here, this is Kirk Mid-Morning, and right now I'm joined by Janet Mao, who's the head teacher of PCA in Choremuni School. Karibu sana today. Asante. And Mr. Amunga Akanyalavandu, who's an education, yeah, it is the name, yes. Who's an education advocate. Thank you as well for making time. We're going to talk about education and how the elections have disrupted the learning. But before we do, let's have a look at a clip here. Parents as well raising questions and complaining on the improper planning of the school calendar, as well as them asking, will the teachers have enough time to cover the syllabus? Let's have a look at that.
Hata wazazi hawana pesa za kulipia watoto school fees. Fair, sisi tumefanya kuomba. Na sasa hizo naomba mtu siku mbili, siku tatu pesa mtu anataka pesa yake. Hali is so hard. Tafadhali kama tutakuja kuenda kwa rira hata kama itakuwa ni vipi. Sisi ni amani ndio tunaomba. Lakini tafadhali Kenya, please. Kenya is bigger than any other person. Kenya is bigger than Ruto, Kenya is bigger than Raila, Kenya is bigger than Uhuru. Tafadhali mtupatie amani sisi wenye tuko hapa chini. Na that is what we want, we as Kenyans. Na tafadhali pia mtupelekee kalenda yetu ya shule vizuri. We are tired. We want peace.
Yes. Kwanza kabisa naitwa Kirk Mid-Morning. Mimi ni mkazi wa Mombasa, maeneo ya Mshomoroni. Saizi kama vile mnaona katika pilika za kurudi mashule. Ila shida ambayo tunaona sisi kama wazazi ni kwa Mheshimiwa CS Magoha. Unatucheza sana na hii maneno ya funga fungua. Tafadhali utupatie kalenda ile ambayo sisi wazazi tunaweza tukaelewa. Haya, haswa sana wakati mambo na school fees.
period ya shule inakuwa very short, yet school fees inalipwa ikiwa yote. Kwa hivyo tafadhali, kama itawezekana, ile ambayo tunalipa kwa second term, ambayo second term imekuwa short, watoto wamekuwa very short session kwa shule, hata kama utaweza kupeleka mbele, maanake saizi hali imekuwa ngumu, siasa imetupeleka, situation is very hard. Hapa Kenya tunaishi ni kama vile tuko kama watumwa. Kwenye hii election ambayo ilikuwa, Mr. President, Mheshimiwa Uhuru, tafadhali uende ukaangalie vile ambavyo nchi utaachia mtu ambaye atakuwa anaweza kutusaidia hapo mbele. Manake sisi kama Wakenya ni sisi tunaumia.
Ya kuongeza basi ni zile kama kawaida ya saa 8:30, saa 9, saa 8:30 ni Migori, saa 9 Malaba, Eldoret Webuye, saa 9:30 ni Mumias na saa 10 Kisumu. Alafu na usiku saa 2:30, saa 3:30, saa 4, saa 4:15.
Labda wanafunzi
Hili vimejaa. Hata leo pia kuna wazazi wengine bado wana wasiwasi kulingana na mambo ya uchaguzi. Wengine bado wana wasiwasi, wako 50-50 bado. Lakini wametupa wakati mgumu sana sababu mwanzo hiyo juzi kwa gari zimejaa zote. Kufikia saa 8 ikabidi wazazi wote waje waanze tena kubadilisha tarehe ya leo.
All right, just a few parents, of course, representing I'd say parents in the whole of the country, speaking about education, children going back to school as well. We've had an issue raised on the school fees that is paid. We'll start with you, Mrs. Mbao. Let's start to look at, you know, the school fees that parents are paying in the very short terms that are there, of course, to be able to go back to the normal education calendar. So let's look at the school fees, because that's an issue that parents have raised over and over again, like where they're paying the same amount of school fees for a short period of time.
Thank you, Faye. Thanks for having me here.
Karibu.
What I would say is that very hard times, and parents are having a very hard time. It has not been easy. Of course, you know, it all started after COVID. And we've been having very short term dates.
Yeah.
About 10 weeks per term, out from the normal 13 or 14 weeks. And that has really taken a very big toll on parents. Now, in the area of school fees, of course, parents have had to dig deeper into their pockets.
Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate because economic times, I mean, things are hard, you know, the prices of food risen, and there's so much that is happening around.
Yeah.
However, as much as that is happening, I would say that schools are also struggling.
Okay.
But it would be very, very important that schools are mindful of the parents, that they work with the parents in this journey, that they understand. There are those parents who are not able to pay school fees, you know, all at once. Previously, you would have a parent paying the whole school fees for the term, and that would be very easy. But we have found that with these very short terms and with very many interruptions, we have parents who are not able to pay and able to probably, you know, even put their children in schools as probably they would desire to. So it's very important that schools get to understand the parents, and that they get to work with these parents so that they are able to caution them, you know, as we also caution our schools, from ensuring that, you know, the children learn. Because anytime a child is out of school, that means that that child is likely to miss a lot. You know, and if these children keep missing, and if they keep getting out of school, of course it's going to be a double tragedy. So I would ask the schools that as we walk this journey, we are walking this journey together. But as we do this, let us also understand our parents. Let us also walk with them so that we can also be able to ensure that the work that we will take is going to help our learners to be cautioned and to ensure that they have covered the syllabus in good time.
I think I like how you put it, that, you know, work together with the parent and understand them as well. Come back to the election period. Schools were to close on the 6th. The CS, Professor Magoha, announced an abrupt date of the 2nd. That is the closing date. Let's look at the opening date as well, which has been postponed 2 times, I believe, from the, is it around 11th, 15th, and now 18th? Of course, because of the tallying process that was still ongoing, insecurity reasons as well. People didn't know how things will turn out after the president-elect has been announced. Mr. Munga, I'd like to hear from you. Parents have complained that probably the whole education ministry is not well planned.
Yes.
Sorry about that. What's your view about that?
Yeah, actually, the whole problem, the election and the electionary period is embedded in our constitution.
Right.
It is known that the second, is it Tuesday of the 5th year, of every 5th year, there will be an election in this country.
Right.
So when the Minister for Education and his officials at Jogo House were working out the calendar, the academic calendar, they needed to have considered that. That is something they didn't need to, it's not something should have taken them by surprise, so that they know that we start. And it's even embedded in the Constitution that even after the election has been done, the Electoral Commission, IEBC, is given 7 days for the returning officer to declare the presidential results.
Yeah.
So simply what it means, there is nothing that should have taken the ministry by surprise. These are dates that are embedded in our constitution. All you need to do, if I was the minister, I would have just sat in my office, looked at the calendar. It's like Christmas time. We all know that on 25th of every year,
it's Christmas.
There will be Christmas.
Yeah.
So when you are budgeting, let me use the word budgeting for your time and you're planning your time. You need to know that on 25th of December there will be Christmas.
Right.
So that is where the minister seems to have failed Kenyans. And when the parents are complaining, I don't think they're complaining because of teachers like Madam here. They are actually asking the government and they're asking the minister, why? Why are you being taken by surprise? Why are you acting like a person who is ignorant of the dates? Some of them are constitutional dates. So if I was seated in his position, what I'd have done and what Kenyans expected him to have done was he would have given definite deadlines and dates. Education is about deadlines. Education is about dates and time frames. I have been a teacher for many years, and anytime I'll enter a staff room and I'm sitting under a head teacher like her or a principal, the first thing we are told, by next week submit, schemes of work. By such and such a time we'll have a cut. And even our children love dates. The children we teach. Anytime as a teacher I enter my classroom, the first thing I write on the board is the date.
All right.
Today's date is such and such a day. Because our children go with dates. That's why we have bells in schools. There's a bell that rings after every certain time. So we are timed. When we have a minister or a minister of education that does not time us, does not have timing, proper times embedded, then it means we have a problem. And that's what we are undergoing. We are hoping that with the new government, with the new, yes, and I like what Madam has said, we were affected by the COVID-19.
Yes.
And we can't run away from that. It affected our timelines and our dates of school dates and calendar. But still, despite all that, why are we in a hurry? It's like we are late for a train or to catch a flight at JKIA. So we are just rushing through.
Yeah.
And even the term dates are so short. It's like we are running to do something. Yes, everybody understands we had COVID. So if we had COVID, let us now breathe in, breathe out, take our time, meet all the stakeholders, including people like Madam, parents, and all of us, agree on the time dates, look at the constitutional dates, holidays like Christmas, like things like Eid al-Fitr, and then now come up with a calendar.
All right. I like how you put it. It's not a surprise. It's something that has been embedded in the Constitution.
Yes.
After every 5 years in the month of August, the second Tuesday, it is.
There is an election.
Speaking about that, should that clause be changed in the Constitution, probably move the election hearing date to later on, like in a month, let's say December, or with proper planning, we can still maintain August?
Yeah. Let me say something there again. You see, actually with the new curriculum, the CBC,
Yes.
if you look at the way it is tailored, it almost seems to copy a lot from other countries like America, where we have grade 1, grade 2, grade 6. You know, that system was more like the American system with the grades. In all jurisdictions, most world jurisdictions, they have their main holidays, school holidays, in August. They call it summer.
Okay.
You go to Britain, you go to America, you go even to countries like India, you discover that their term dates end in August. So that there's something, in fact in July, they normally have a long, they call it summer holiday, between July and they come back in September, right? So even our colleges, look at our universities and our middle level colleges, intake to enter university or KIMC or KMTC is usually in September. Reason? Because they expect that terms will end in July, that holiday. So we were just trying to align ourselves. Actually, we need to align ourselves so that in July of every year, we go for our long holiday.
All right.
It's just that we know, being a Christian country, we had decided that we'll be doing it in December. But now COVID has taught us that we can still have school into December and just break for December holiday, and we can have our holiday. We don't need to change the constitution, just because, and you know, it will take a lot of referendum and many other things. So the best would be to align our school calendars with the constitution of this country. I think the constitution supersedes everything.
Okay.
So we as teachers, Madam and her fellow stakeholders, can sit together and restructure our school terms so that by July, September every year, we have a long holiday.
All right. I see you agreeing with a lot of what he's saying. Do you share the same sentiments?
My view in this is, I really want to appreciate, he has articulated it very well.
Yes, indeed.
And what I would like to say is that people are tired of the too many interruptions. And as he rightfully said, if this had been planned well earlier, because I believe that there are people who sat down, came up with the changes, and they knew what was going to come in the course of the year. That would, and that should have factored in what there is. So what, as an educator, what I would be interested in seeing would be whatever policies and whatever things are put in place in our nation. We should ensure that they are not contrary to the programs, and especially education is sensitive in any country.
Right.
So anything that comes and affects the education system in any country is something that should seriously be looked into.
Okay.
And as he has said, it is very important that all the stakeholders and people who are concerned, as far as some of these things are concerned, get to sit and agree so that we get to see what would be the best thing. How would we adjust this to ensure that we bring all the people on board, and to ensure that we avoid the interruptions and there's so many things that we've been having around. I remember previously we used to have the election sometime in December, right?
Right.
Yes. And then we never used to have problems. I think it would be very, very simple. Students and children would be home, and whatever issues that may have come around or that did come around were taken care of, because most of the children, all the children, were at home at that point in time. So it is important. I also echo the same, that it is important that when such things are done, that we bring and we look into the entire operations of the nation and the different departments that are involved, so that we ensure that there's some inclusivity and everybody is brought on board. Right. And so that we don't have to affect the schools the way we have affected them, because I would say we are very affected. Yes.
Speaking about, so in short, the proper planning is the key thing here.
Yes.
Looking at how the school was closed for the elections, of course, in preparation of the classrooms to be used by the Electoral Commission. How did you handle that on your end, Janet? Of course, parents expected schools to be closed at around 6th. Then here comes the CS, says school will be closed on the 2nd, which was the following day. And parents really complained, saying they didn't have enough time. We spoke to a few parents who said that they had to even fuliza for the kids to come back home and send money as fare. On your end, how did that play out?
Well, it was very abrupt because the press release came on a Monday.
Yeah.
And the same day, we were supposed to write to parents, inform them of the closure, and ensure that homework was given. So this was it was so abrupt, and we actually were left feeling very bad in terms of our preparedness. Remember that when children go home, children are supposed to carry some work home to make sure that they get caution, to make sure that at least they are not idle at home. We didn't even have time to make those preparations. Yes, we had to sit, for example, in my school, we had to sit with the teachers and agree. Now, what is going to be the way forward?
Yeah.
We've been instructed to close down, and of course we have to comply. And having issues at that point, then what do we do? So we had to, it was firefighting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fast. We had to move very fast. Then we actually thought it was only going to take us about a week. We were prepared to be out for about a week. Then came the elections, and there was the first extension.
Yes.
Then came the process of the tarring, and there was still another extension. So it really affected many schools. And for your information, most of the schools, around the time that we closed, were preparing for their midterm assessments.
All right.
Yes, that is when we were actually ready. We had ordered the assessments, all the exams were in school, and the children were psychologically prepared that they were going to start. So it was such an interruption, and I just pray and hope that some of course the people involved, and we are part of the stakeholders, can be able to raise a voice and be able to say, if things are done this way, we would appreciate better than the way we have done it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've spoken about children being psychologically prepared to sit for their exams. And here comes the aspect. Let's look at how then children are affected by this as well. The abrupt closure, the opening dates, the very short term period, because Amunga mentioned, why are we in a rush? Of course, we understand that COVID-19 did disrupt that a little with about 10 months or so, but then let's take a breather. So let's look at how have kids been affected by this, by the rush, close, open, very short term, you have to prepare for exams immediately, go back home, come back. Let's look at how has this affected the students, Amunga.
Yeah, actually, let me say this. It's not the first time under this new constitution that we're having an election in August. In 2017, we actually had an election in August.
Yeah.
But we were prepared. The stakeholders were prepared. The dates were well put out, You remember we had many issues in that year. We even had the Supreme Court nullify an election in 2017.
Right.
But all this happened as the children were actually on holiday. So by the time everything was over, they went back to school, and they had time. The issue is planning. Planning, and you've asked a very good question about the children. Planning needs to have the children in mind. You, as a minister for education, you as a stakeholder in education, a head teacher like Madam Janet here, and all other people who are involved, the center of education is the learner. So when we'll have ministry officials, people in the ministry, and this one I'm laying it on the ministry itself, who think the way you are asking, who ask questions like, how will the child take it?
Yeah.
How will it affect the learner? Even not even the child, the teacher, or even the parent. Start with the learner. Learning is child-centered, So you must start by asking, we have children in ECDEs, we have children in boarding schools, we have learners in tertiary institutions, we have learners in universities. How will closing an institution like, say, Kenyatta University suddenly affect the university, for example? You know, so you as a stakeholder, you as a leader in the ministry, you should have already thought about it. These questions should have been gone to the minister. And that is why there is a lot of talk right now in the country that there is a lot of ill preparedness.
All right.
There's a lot of rush. There are a lot of roadside decisions. And we are demanding, as education stakeholders, as advocates for the education, that the Ministry of Education must sit with teachers like Madam Janet, must sit with, we even had come up with things like student leadership, like, we have things like student presidents, prefects, monitors.
Children's government.
We call it children's government.
Right.
These are key stakeholders. Nowadays, even in board of management, we are told a child must also sit in our BOMs in schools, like in high schools. So that simply means we even want to bring the child to sit with us when we are making these decisions. So the Minister of Education should not feel that he's above the law, he's a local almighty, he can throw his weight around and command things. Education is not about one individual. Education is about all of us. It affects everybody. It cuts across all of us, the whole country. And interestingly, the quality of education also goes down if we are not sure of deadlines and timelines. We have also to safeguard the quality. The quality. While Madam is saying they had come up with exams, they were going to do tests and measurements on their children, but now because of this kind of interference, they're not able to do the tests and measurements.
Yeah.
That is very serious allegation. It means the quality of that education, of that class that she's handling, whether it is an exam class or a candidate class, the quality is not that good. There's a problem.
Yeah. I like
Sure. I'd also like to add the fact that, we are dealing with children who, the moment, let me talk about children at the, preschool level. The moment the children go home, stay for 1 week, stay for 2 weeks, they come back to school having forgotten everything that they had learned. And remember, we had just come from a school holiday.
Yes.
So we had only done 3 weeks. So when these children came and, they were catching up and they were warming up to, school work and projects and everything, there came the interruption again. So normally what we have noted is that anytime children are out of school, because not every parent is able to monitor and ensure that their child is reading. There are those who are very keen. Right. But there are others who probably, as a result of, their life, and they need to get out there and look for money because they also need to maintain their families.
Right.
So as a result of this, they may not even have the time, and they may not even have money to be be to hire people to come and take care of their children. So it has been, and this is something that we must be very careful about, because this back and forth thing is also affecting the children in terms of their content retention. Yes, the candidates are supposed to be sitting for their exams in. We have two groups. We have the grade 6, who are supposed to be sitting for their national assessment in November, and the class 8, who are also going to be sitting for the exam around the same time.
Yeah.
And we need to ensure that these children are well prepared. So, and we unless schools and parents join hands and come up with very, very good strategies, it's actually compromising on the level of education in our nation. Unfortunately, but we pray and hope that under the circumstances that everyone will do their best to ensure that we give the best. We also have projects. The ministry had just uploaded the projects in the school's portal, and these projects were supposed to start in grade 3. They're supposed to be done by grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6 learners. We had no time to do that.
All right.
So we have to start all over. We have to. Some of the teachers had already introduced the projects to the children. They had already, like in my school, we had already communicated to the parents. But of course, with the break, there was a disconnect.
Yeah.
So we will have to start it all over again. Yes.
Wow, Amunga has raised the issue of, the quality of education, which of course you've spoken about it being compromised, and we have two groups of, let me say, candidates who are going to sit for the exams, the grade 6 assessment as well as the class 8 and form 4 as well for the KCSE and KCPE examination. Speaking about that and how things are playing out, as a head teacher, what do we expect as the outcome?
Well, what I would say is that we can only hope that every person, especially the teachers who are very key, that they will put their foot forward and do their best.
All right.
And then remember, as that is done, we also need to take care of the child, because learning is a process. And it's not like the way you feed a child, and you have to make sure that whatever you're teaching, the learners are getting it right. So it will have to take strategies in the schools. Come up with good strategies. Look for ways of helping these children. Look for ways of ensuring that whatever the children are supposed to learn has been done in a way that the children will be able to understand the key components of the syllabus content or the designs content. And as that is done, do not forget that like a week or maybe a term that was supposed to have taken 13 weeks had been reduced to 10 weeks. And then it has also been reduced further, 3 weeks to around 6 or 7 weeks. I believe we also need the grace of God. We truly need the grace of God. It's not an easy time. Yes, this is a very, very difficult time for all of us, especially those that are in the schools.
Quality education is made up of three things actually. Quality tools. That's tools means the things they use, the books, the stationery, the chalkboards or whiteboards for that matter, the textbooks. Then quality environment. Quality environment is where they are based, like the schools where she is. Environment comes in things like even the sanitation, the classrooms, and all those things. They all come into play towards quality education. And then quality teachers, well-trained, as me I normally bring it, also well-paid teachers. That also brings out quality education. So when we look at what is happening and what Madam has just been talking about and what you are asking, when we have disruptions, the environment, the quality part called environment, learning is about a good environment. When that environment is interfered with, then these children are not able to learn. Then we all were children at one point. We all went to school. We know once there is even lunch break, just to go home. And you go home. That time the bell rings for you to go for lunch. You switch off. There is nothing. Even if the teacher was to speak, timing is everything. If the bell rings, it's lunchtime. That child, which learns something in college called Pavlov's law, conditioning. That child knows it's time to go home. Hakuna kusoma saa hiyo. So what Madam is saying is true, that when they leave the school compound, they almost lose, especially the younger ones. Hiyo maneno imeisha ile walikuwa nasoma. The teachers have to start afresh, start again. Yes, quality has been compromised by whatever was going on, what has been going on. You don't expect good results from this year's class, candidate classes. And worse is that we have double a candidate class. We have started 6 and we have started 8. We have grade 6 and grade 8. We started 8. Then we have form 4. And all these people need to sit the exam this year, December, just before Christmas, and be marked. And next year, January, a new class they need to get into either to go to form 1. It's a double intake. Let me put it this way. We are totally not prepared. This thing you are hearing about junior secondary, the classrooms are not ready. I happen to be a board chair of a school here in Nairobi, a high school. And I want to tell you, my high school, and it's a public school, we don't have classes. We just don't know what we're going to do. I'm the board chair in that school. I keep talking to my principal and keep wondering how these children are going to learn under trees when they come to this school. Or shall we put up tents? We don't need to hide this from Kenyans. The truth of the matter is, things are not ready. And we don't know with the new government if the same minister will continue to be there, or another minister will come and he'll come with changes. So that these changes, Madam Principal, who is seated with me here, I want to tell you, it seems we are still going to go through them because obviously this minister is going away. This government is changing. The new minister will obviously come with changes. And I want to tell you, it will affect all these learning programs that we are having. And that's where we are headed. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I like the truth there that, you know, some schools are not ready to receive students for the junior secondary, right? There's a question here from DJ Kags who say, interesting insights there. A question, what has become of the curriculum and talent development in schools? You know, the music festivals, inter-school sports, drama festivals, what exactly is ailing them? Mr. Amunga, please tuambie.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, when I was actually, I was really involved in those co-curricular activities. And I want to say, those are the most affected activities in the country in schools. Learning is not just classroom, it's not just the four walls. Learning is also out there, outdoors. And we have produced some of the best champions in this country, be it athletics, be it football. Some of you people who are journalists like you were brought out, or we saw your talent in music festival, mashairi, in drama festivals. That's how we identified you guys. And we knew this one will be a good journalist. This one will be a good leader. Science Congress, going out there for those science Congress. Those social activities that we used to engage in. All these things are no longer there. They're not happening. We were told it's because of COVID. There was that thing of social distancing. And so we could not allow our children to go out and, you know, play games. But again, after that, that ended. You know, now, even as we speak, this term, we are in second term, right?
Yes, we are.
We are supposed to be having music festivals going on. The music festivals calendar has totally been interfered with. We're also supposed to be having inter-school ball games, you know, and what they call gymnastics in the primary schools, there's normally some games they normally have. All that cannot happen because they're trying to do a crash program to hit the calendar, to teach and squeeze in everything with these few 6-7 weeks they're having. So, co-curricular activities, dead. And with those was dead, quality of education, down.
I'd like to hear as well your view on that, speaking about the co-curricular activities, how that is also affecting students in general and in terms of nurturing their talents and abilities.
Yes, indeed. The schools have been affected. And as he has rightfully said, before we went home for the elections, we were preparing the children for the ball games. In fact, they had already started.
All right.
In our school, we were also preparing ourselves for a sports day. In fact, just this morning, the teacher in charge of that docket was asking, are we going to continue with this? And I said, yes, we will, you know, because we are back to school, so we will still need to make sure that our programs run. However, as he has said, the truth of the matter is that the co-curricular activities have been affected. And many schools and many teachers will not take their children out. I mean, that's how we are compromising the academic, you know, standards. The fact that children, there is a notion that children need to be more in class than out. And remember, there's co-curricular outside. There's co-curricular outside the classroom. And that is part of the growth of the children. So you even find schools where they don't even take their children for physical education lessons. And that is suicidal. Because you are actually affecting the learner. So in my view, I would say that this rush has seriously affected the co-curricular activities in schools. And we are losing out. We will have a generation that will have missed out a little bit on some of those very key factors that should have been brought on board and they should have been exposed to for them to be able to grow as holistic children, because that's what we are missing now. You know, that holistic child, that child who does not do very well in class, but when they get out, they shine. And of course that is okay, because it's part of growth and it's part of life. Because not all students will be A students. We will have those who will be at the top. We will have others who may not be very good in class, but they will be shining outside. So there's been a lot of compromise in that area, and I would urge my fellow teachers, as much as we have all this happening around us, as much as we have so much to cover, let them not forget, and let the children be children. Let the child be the child. Yes. Let them grow up and play and ensure that they've been given the exposure that they need for them to be able to grow and be able to be that whole child that we desire to have.
I just wonder one thing. Too much, they say, too much play. Without
too much work.
Without play. Made Jack a dull boy.
All right.
So what she's saying is everything, you know. I taught at Kisumu High School for some time, and the boys who were excelling outside class started earning money, and even more money than me, their teacher. Because of the outdoor activities. Eric Omondi was my student at Kisumu Boys. He's a comedian, he's a well-known comedian. You know? And he was my drama student, you know. He was earning more. Then I went to Chemil Academy, and I put in my drama club another guy called Willis Raburu. He's one of your journalists. And Raburu became more famous than all of us, his teachers, not because he got a B or a C or whatever he got, but because he was out there doing something. So we have many examples as teachers of our children who excelled out there and who have excelled in life, because that is part of the curriculum. So when you deny them, as she puts it, there's going to be a generation gap. There's going to be a big gap, these 2-3 years, since the COVID time up to now with the electionary period, that we are going to have a few of our children who have missed a stage. And it's like when you are an adolescent and you are supposed to be an adolescent and you miss that adolescent stage. It comes back later in life. It can affect your mentality. And that's what we are going to see if we are not careful.
And the very tight schedule right now, you know, to complete the syllabus should not be an excuse.
It should not be an excuse. It should not be an excuse, because as she says, her sports teacher has already come to ask, can we go ahead? And I'm happy she answered, yes, let's go ahead. But you see, the problem is, madam, other teachers in the school will say, we can't allow our children to go to play and we have not covered the syllabus. We want to cover the syllabus. So it becomes again a tug of war within the teachers in the staff room. The principal, the head teacher may have the goodwill to let the children go and play. But there are teachers also who feel mathematics, we have not covered the syllabus. The core business is to cover the syllabus. So the sports teacher will be overruled, because the majority will look at it and say, unaendaje drama, ati unaenda music festival, and we have mathematics, we have English lessons. Well, your parent brought you here to go for music festival. Then you are overruled as a teacher. And that's where the problem is.
And I liked the example of the mathematician or the mathematics teacher, because they're the culprits. It's PE time, and the mathematics teacher will come to class. Break time, you know. And the other, like, let's take this time to look at, But I like also what you guys said, like let the children be children, you know, allow them time, because also the co-curricular activities expose them to realize their talents as well and their giftings, which might end up, you know, making them more money than actual class. Of course, we're not disregarding the fact that studies as well still important.
Then remember, the CBC is a competence-based curriculum. That does not really expect the child to only excel, you know, in the pen and book area. We hope to nurture the competencies. CBC is bringing out children who are musically right, you will get musicians through the projects that we are doing. That's why I feel so sad that we have been so affected. We are not able to do this work as good as we should have done it because of the constraints of time.
Yeah.
And some of these competencies are competencies that you will be able to nurture as these children get on to, hands-on, get to do some of the work that they're supposed to do.
Yes.
As we continue to go through the work that they're supposed to cover, as they continue to go through the design's content, they're supposed to be helped to grow in their competencies.
Okay.
But sometimes you find with all this rush, it's becoming a real challenge.
Yeah.
But we trust and pray that we can be able to do our best and help the children to be the best.
Yes, and that with time things will be better as well.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
with that said, I think let's take a very short break. We'll be back in a few. Definitely interact with us. In case you have any questions, post them on our socials. We'll have a look at them. Facebook and YouTube is at Kirk TV Kenya. There's a live link there, so leave a comment down below. We'll be looking at them when we come back from the short break. And our SMS line as well is 0111 2200 44. Send your SMS there. We'll have a look at it as well. We're taking a very short break. Do not go too far because we'll be right back in a few.
I'm Celestine Kemunto. I'm taking a bachelor's in business information technology. I chose ZTech because, first of all, ZTech has been ranked among the best in ICT, and I thought it will be best. It will be best for my course. First of all, we have there are so many ICT labs in ZTech University, which enables students, mostly those who are pursuing IT courses, to get to know more about their courses. Of which the labs have so many computers which have Ethernet, which is easier for them to browse. If I were given a chance to choose another university, I'll definitely choose ZTech University.
Apply today. ZTech University. Invent your future.
Communion with a difference. It's easy to set up, no worry of spills, contamination or waste. Prepared with very high hygienic standards and strict quality dedicated equipment. You are rest assured that pre-filled Holy Communion elements are completely protected. We deal with pre-filled communion elements for churches in Kenya and East Africa like the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, CITAM, among many others. The advantages of the pre-filled elements are cost-effective, convenient, portable and ideal for use in virtually any environment, less preparation work, completely hygienic, and we have both altar wine and altar juice. Order now by calling us or sending us a WhatsApp message on 07999 88371. Visit our website www.holycommunionelements.com. We welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us via email info@kirktv.org, SMS 011 22 0044, or call us on 0794 588 054. All right, welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it right here at Kirk Mid-Morning. Today we're talking about education and how, you know, the elections have disrupted the school calendar. Looking at any stakeholder that has been affected by that. Of course, we've tackled and talked about the children, the school as well. And speaking about the school and how teachers are expected to cover the school syllabus within the short period of time given, kids have just resumed back a few weeks before they close again. And of course, there's a place where teachers are supposed to get to in terms of covering the school syllabus. I think I'd like you to talk about the importance of that, because as much as we're viewing it as there being a rush to complete the syllabus, let's talk about why is it important for that to happen.
All right. Would say that it's very important that we, as schools, that we get deliberate on how we will help our students to be able to go through the term and to be able to catch up. But someone will ask, how do you expect the children to catch up? I mean, school program begins at 8:20. The normal timetable begins at 8:20 and it goes all the way up to around 3:10. So what is it that that schools can do to be able to help their children and to be able to catch up and caution our learners from bragging behind because of these very many interruptions? And what I would say is that it's important that schools and the heads of schools, school management, and the teachers and parents come together and ensure that we agree on measures and timelines that can help us to be able to cover whatever content is supposed to be covered. For example, if the school timetable starts at 8:20, then a school can make arrangements, with the support of the parents, of course with the support of the school management, start your lessons a little bit earlier. For the big boys and girls, they can start at 7. 1 hour from 7 to 8, they will have done quite something. Then if that is not possible, they can probably look for a bit of an extension in the evening. If the school timetable ends at 3:10, we can have some small extension from probably around 3:30 to around 4:30, or whatever time is appropriate as far as that school community is concerned, because there are many factors that also affect how a school runs a program. We have transport, of course we have where those children are living, and many things. So I would say that it will be important for schools to sit down and come up with moves and deliberate programs that will help caution the children, because at the end of the day, if you don't make it right, then your children will be left behind. So we will have to be deliberate and just come up with ways and programs that will help our children to be able to be on their 2 feet and to help the teachers to be able to move without really panicking much and thinking, oh, I have very little time and I'm not able to cover this. So in the process, you find them rushing through, doing a bad job. And as we talked about quality education, quality is very, very key. and it's affected by many things. It's not just one thing, you know, it will not be affected by just one factor.
Yeah.
There are many factors that come to play that will affect the way, the education, and the way you are handling your children in a school setup. Yes.
Wow, very well put, Mr. Munga. Let's look at how, you know, all this is affecting parents. We started with a clip of parents, of course, complaining because of the abrupt announcement of the closure of the opening date. Let's look at the parents' welfare as well when it comes to ensuring that their kids stay in school.
Yeah, you see, education has a... Parents are the sponsors. They're like the producers of the whole show, you know?
Yeah.
So a parent must be considered. Even the new CBC curriculum has a big role on parents, you know, the role of parents, what the parents are supposed to do. Even the homeworks are back at home. So a parent must be involved properly and properly coached and properly timed in how to sponsor the education.
Okay.
Because parents are the main sponsors of education in this country. So what has happened in this breaks, interruptions, and squeezed school calendar is that parents have actually been squeezed also. They have been squeezed financially.
Yeah.
I'm a parent, and I believe many people listening to us are parents. There's no parent in this country who is enjoying what's going on. It is terrible for us. We have borrowed. I heard you say, some of them said on the clip they have Fuliza, you know.
Yeah.
We have gone to Shylocks because abruptly somebody says you have to bring your child home. You have to look for fare. If your child is in Mombasa, you have to think about SGR back to Nairobi. It's not cheap. These things don't come cheap. Education is very expensive. And let nobody lie to anybody that there's something like free education. It will never be there. It has never been there. Education must be paid for. A good thing must be paid for.
Yeah.
And education is a good thing. And because of that, parents are really pained with the costs of the current breakdowns and timelines and interruptions. There is a solution. And I think that's what we need to be talking about. The solution should just be, we as a country, and our curriculum, I heard somebody mention curriculum was one of the comments on the social media. Our curriculum as Kenyans needed really to be looked at very carefully, so that we lighten. There's something that used to be said, keep it short and simple. You know, KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it short and simple. We have burdened our curriculum and our parents. Even the CBC is total burden in terms of costs, in terms of production of materials, new textbooks. We need somebody in this country who could think at the curriculum, at the Kenya Institute of Education, KIE, to think about how do we make our curriculum less heavy. We are learning parts of a grasshopper. We are learning all these things. Some of them don't help us. They don't help our children in the future at all.
Yeah.
We are learning so much about Timbuktu and all those things. Why are we burdening children with all Timbuktus and all these things?
Yeah.
Yes, and they have to cover a syllabus of European history, Latin American history, I don't know what history, and at the end of the day, they don't need it. You know, they just don't need it. Somebody needs to sit at KIE and say, we can lighten our curriculum. We can reduce the number of subjects. We thought CBC will come with a reduced subject level. We thought these heavy bags our children carry going to school every morning will lighten. We were shocked that CBC even made it worse. That they are not even carrying more books than they were carrying. There are even more subjects than we had in 844 in CBC. That is wrong. Somebody somewhere is not thinking. And it's only in Kenya, by the way, that we find that kind of thing. It's like a punishment to parents. It's like a punishment to teachers. It's a punishment to the whole country. We make our children, it is only in Kenya you wake up at 5 when you're coming here at Kirk TV. And you see the shadows, small children with bags waiting to be picked to go to school.
Yes.
There's only somebody somewhere at our curriculum implementation is not thinking about this child. Someone needs to ask himself, how do we make this child go to school at 9 in the morning and by 3 p.m. amesoma ya kutosha na narudi nyumbani? The day we will reach a place, somebody will sit in the ministry and think like that and reduce our load, our workload in schools. That's the day when this thing we're talking about, rush program, crash program, that day it will end. I rest my case.
I'd like to hear from you, Janet. What do you think about the curriculum we've had from Mr. Munga? Of course, reduce the workload, you know, consider the child. What is your take on that?
Well, what I would say is that with CBC, as I had mentioned earlier, CBC, of course, there's a lot that the children need to do. But he has mentioned something that I would like to probably encourage the schools and the teachers and probably even the parents to understand. Of course, the education system is very expensive.
Right.
There's a lot. We've had parents complaining, oh, I came home today in the evening, I was told to buy this, I was told to buy this. And that is simply because sometimes teachers also are not planning well.
Okay.
However, it's important to note that with our education system today, and especially now that we are crossing over, we are almost doing the full CBC in the primary school.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that we help children get the kind of education that will benefit these children. And I believe that part of CBC is supposed to do that.
Okay.
If they would only evaluate a few of the things that they have brought on board, I mean, some of the things that are making it very expensive. You know, CBC requires that the children gain competencies like digital literacy. And we have heard it said that there are schools in some parts of this country that don't even have electricity.
Yes.
So I don't even know how they will achieve the digital literacy. But the idea may be a good idea, but they need to seriously look into the implementation because it is a good curriculum and it's something that is out and can be able to help our children in their lives and in the future. All right? But the way the implementation is done is what has caused a lot of problems. Because I can assure you many people are struggling, many parents are struggling, and schools are also struggling because we have to change books, we have to change many things. But at the end of it, whatever probably had been hoped to be achieved was a good a good idea. Yeah, it was a good thing. But they will need to reevaluate and also see how best they can be able to bring whatever may have been intended to get to the children and bring it in a simpler way. He has talked about keys. Keep it short and simple. Yes. And it can be done. It is possible.
It is
I
possible.
believe.
And you know, just to add on that, the current, our topic today was about the elections and the education system.
Right.
See, the current president-elect, that's William Ruto, signed a charter with us. I was a part of the team that was coming up with a charter for teachers and some of the things. We agreed that we will not remove CBC if he became president, but we'll restructure it.
All right.
Restructuring is what Madam is talking about. And that's what we are hoping any government that will come, and if it is the government of William Ruto, should be able to call Madam and other stakeholders to the table. They restructure it. CBC is a good idea, a great idea. But we need to restructure a few things. Maybe the years, maybe the timelines, maybe the books, maybe the subjects, the content, maybe how to help parents cope with it and accept it. We will need men and women who will sit with a listening, caring minister. Who will listen to what these teachers have to say, the way Madam has put it here, so that they come up with a way to keep it simple and short. And if that works, as Kenyans will have achieved. Kenyans invest so much in education. Kenyans love education. Actually, the only thing that most Kenyans do for their children, we tell them, sisi hatuna shamba, hatuna kitu ya kupatia, but the best we can do is education.
Education.
So if we don't get it right in our education, we've gotten it all wrong for our generation.
Yeah, I like how this discussion has spanned out. As much as we wanted to tackle about elections and education only, I really like how we're getting deep into it and looking at how we can also be able to solve the challenges that are there currently. Looking at the school calendar this year, we were to apparently resume, or the ministry was trying to resume normal school calendar by 2023 January by compressing all the school terms, to look at how we'll resume normal school calendar January 2023. Speaking about that, Janet, looking at the elections, of course we've had CS Magoha said in case of a repeat of election and the by-election as well, students will still remain in school to ensure that we've been able to cover it all. Is this a possibility? By come January 2023, we'll now resume normal school calendar.
Well, I would love it that way, because we are so tired of this back and forth thing.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to a time when in this nation we will get back to a normal school calendar.
Okay.
Because it is so tedious and it has taken a heavy toll on most of the stakeholders, especially those that are directly involved. And as it is right now, what we are saying is that we have a group, we have children who have already been affected. Remember, the elections have really affected our school calendar because we didn't anticipate that we were going to be out for that long. And with that effect, then of course it has affected the way we and the content that we are supposed to have delivered to the children. So I would only pray and hope that we're not going to have more interruptions coming. If probably proper consultations had been done, we would have looked into ways of going through whatever the children were supposed to go through without necessarily having to rush them the way we are doing. And it would have really helped the children to be able to learn and still enjoy, because school is a place of enjoyment. Children should be able to enjoy school.
Yes.
It should not look like it's a place where they come and they are not sure that they will really be happy with what they have. Schools are supposed to be hubs where children go, enjoy, and learning is part of the enjoyment. And that's why teachers are encouraged to ensure that the way they deliver, their methodology and the way they prepare their lessons, it should be in a way that will make their lessons as interesting as possible. Now, unfortunately, with all what we have, we have many teachers at the back of their minds is like, no, we just need to finish, but finish and go where? And what will you have achieved at the end of the day? So we can only hope that things will normalize. We are praying hard that we do not get interrupted again, and that we will be able to come to the very end of the year having done our best, and hope that once we begin next year, then children will be back on their 2 feet, and we'll be able to help and see probably areas that these children did not do it as well. But of course, not all will be able to have that privilege, because we'll have the ones who are in grade 8 who will now have transited to Form 1. Then we will have the ones who are in grade 6 who are supposed to join the junior secondary school. And, so, but we can just hope that all is going to be well.
Okay, time is not on our side, but there's a question here from a producer who says the very squeezed school syllabus and calendar, is that a stress factor, when it comes to children?
Pardon, is there?
The squeezed syllabus and the calendar where they have to cover everything. Could that be a factor that is stressing children?
Yeah, of course. Not just children. We've had cases now of teachers even committing suicide. We're having problems right now of even children getting stressed and doing things that we don't expect. The issue of drugs in schools, the issue of children being involved in issues. These things are coming out because of the stress and the lack of planning. Obviously, it affects a lot. And what we could say is this. There was no need to rush. There are some things you can't rush. If you are a farmer and you want your maize to grow, or your beans, or you used to have seeds like, I don't know, I can't remember the name, kakuzi or whatever they call the seed. If you are in Ukambani and your seed takes 3 months to mature, you have to leave it to take the 3 months to mature.
To mature.
Nature is just a reflection of the real life that we live. You cannot expect to rush things that are supposed to have been done in 4 months, now you want to do it in 2 months. It won't work, it will backfire. My advice, and advice from many stakeholders, and I've read even on social media and on blogs and even in the newspapers, most education advocates and commentators are saying the minister doesn't now need to really rush so that he concludes everything by 2022 December. It's not a must. We have already eaten 2-3 weeks because of this electionary period. We cannot rush. We can't continue to rush things. If we keep rushing, we'll burn our fingers. Waswahili wanasema haraka haraka haina baraka. So we can't continue. We must think about this generation. We must allow these teachers to do their work. And again, as Madam says, we are hoping there will be no interruption. But that is hope against hope, because, for example, in Mombasa and Kakamega County, where I come from, we will hold another election very soon for the governor. Our schools are still the polling stations. Students will have to be interrupted in those 2 counties, whether we like it or not. So there will be some interruption again. And we don't know where the Supreme Court will take us. In case the Supreme Court makes an nullification of this election, it will mean we start again, we go back to factory settings. And again, we'll have to make those schools again to be our tallying and our polling stations. So we are not going to go. The only thing we can tell our minister, Bwana Waziri Magoha, and you are going home anyway, what you do is this: just allow us to finish our work. Our maize or our mangoes take 1 year to grow, 3 years to grow, allow our mangoes to grow. Our bananas take 2 years to grow, allow our bananas to grow for those 3 years. Don't rush these teachers. We are the teachers. We know what it means to educate a child. Don't rush us.
All right, speaking very passionately there, but I like the boldness as well, and I agree with you, don't rush teachers. And I also agree with what you said, let kids enjoy education and school. Briefly, speaking about tallying centers and polling stations taken to school, and looking at how that, of course, disrupts them because schools have to be closed, probably should we consider an alternative to that, or should that remain? Maybe have a polling station somewhere else other than schools? Janet.
Well, what I would like to say is that we should consider that. Apparently, our school is one of the polling stations. And as a result of what was taking place, of course, we had to be interrupted. And we did our best to make sure that everything was in place. But I would make a special appeal that if it is possible, of course I know why they go to schools, because of the infrastructure, they need classes and all that. But for the sake of, especially where we are right now, for the sake of making sure that we don't get any more interruptions, they should look for alternatives. They should not go back to the schools and interrupt the schools and, have the children going back home. They can as well look for other centers or other facilities that will help them to be able to carry out their exercise without necessarily having to affect the children.
Yes. All right. As we conclude today's program, probably what would be your punching line? What would you like to leave our viewers with as well?
Okay. This is great. Education is everything. When I was growing up, they used to say, elimu ni ufunguo wa maisha. Na ufunguo wa maisha ya Kenya ni elimu. So all I want to trust is that the new government that is coming is going to appoint a great minister. It's going to restructure a few things in the education system. We will stand with the next government to help in ensuring that we have a better, well-timed, well-framed education structure that will deliver quality education and will involve all stakeholders. We are hoping to get a minister and other education leaders who will involve all. When I mean all, is all education stakeholders, so that we move this country forward when it comes to education.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Amunga. Mrs. Mbao.
Well, my special appeal will be to the schools and to the teachers and parents, and more so to the teachers and the teachers in our schools, that what qualifies and what will qualify us as professionals is how we handle the children at this point in time. Let's not forget that these are hard times, and therefore we need to walk with our children, we need to love our children, we need to understand them. But as we do that, let us also remember that we also need to understand the parents. It's also a very stressful time, even to these parents. So let's understand our parents and make sure that we do our working with, so that these parents can also be, we need to help them to be on their 2 feet as they bring their children to us, so that we can ensure that we help and do the very best that we are supposed to do as far as this very noble profession is concerned. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for today. Janet Mbao, head teacher, PCA in Chorimunyi School, as well as Mr. Munga Akanyalavandu, who is an education advocate right there. Let's remain hopeful, because President-elect William Ruto, speaking yesterday, said that cabinet secretaries will not be held accountable in the parliament. So we hope things will change even for the education sector. But thank you all. Just to look at a few of the comments that have come in too, I'll read two, because that's what my producer tells me. Amos M. Gishuki says, Mrs. Mbao, a great friend and teacher. This seems like a friend who's tuning in. And Grace Kimani, who says, tune in. That's a very interesting conversation. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's Kirk Mid-Morning. My name is Faith Kaulu. Well, I'd leave you at that, because the time is not on our side. I have to wrap it up right here, but it has been a very great conversation. Do not go too far, because I wrap the Kirk Mid-Morning session, but coming up right next is a feature by our very own Chris Sambu on money laundering, an interesting feature you need to have a look at as well. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, keep watching Kirk TV. Goodbye for now.
I want to thank the members of this House who have risen to the challenge to cleanse this country of money laundering, of wash, of being condemned to a pariah state.
Every day, millions of shillings illegally acquired are stashed in bags and moved around secretly from place to place, exchanging hands and deposited in bank accounts, while the source of the finances is still unknown to many people. This money that would have been used to incentivize the daily struggle of the common Kenyan has been swiftly and easily been trickling down to the pockets of a few individuals in the country, who then begin the process of making it untraceable and clean. This is where the term money laundering features majorly, a term precisely used to refer to the illegal financial flows. But what exactly is money laundering? It is the backbone of the infamous Kenyan corruption complex, While in simple terms, money laundering is the process through which money acquired illegally, especially from government coffers, is moved around to conceal its origin. Its main version is what has made it earn the name wash wash under the Kenyan setup, in what unexplained huge amounts of money are stashed in bags illegally and against the economic laws. So how exactly does money laundering operate and what does it entail? Unlike the perception that having fake currency sums up to money laundering, the wash-wash term has for long been misleading. In this piece, we explain the money laundering industry in its real aspects. Firstly, money laundering involves cleansing of illegally acquired finances and putting them back in the legal financial system. So how does this happen?
The 5 days that we give ARA is just 5 days. After 5 days, if your money is okay, it will just be there. It will go nowhere. So, but then within those 5 days, surely, if the money was supposed to be withdrawn for purposes of terrorism or others, we will have saved this country.
A good bill, as it is, that takes the country forward, Honorable Speaker, has to be given all the propositions and oppositions.
Breaking news. So don't allow people's money to be frozen just because of suspicion. What Musimba is making is putting up safeguards, Mr. Chair. Safeguards on how the rights of people can be protected under the Constitution.
In a practice that has been associated with politicians and prominent business people, money laundering, popularly known as wash-wash in Kenya, has 3 stages. First is the placement stage, how the stolen or illegally acquired money is introduced into the system by breaking it into different deposits, which this means that an individual who has acquired huge amounts of illegal finances finds a way of breaking it into smaller quantities to allow room for its circulation. Usually, the money is stashed in cash to avoid tracing by the authorities. On the second phase of money laundering, the dirty money broken down in smaller quantities is then shuffled around the system unknowingly among its accomplices, who then are used as patterns to cleanse the money by use of legal means, and that's where the cleansing of the dirty money takes shape. The cleansing is the third phase of integration, where the money has now gone full circle in the system. The initially huge sum of money acquired illegally and broken down into small quantities through accomplices is now used to purchase assets within the real estate, shell companies with no offices, entertainment joints, casinos, and even high-end beauty and cloth lines. Eventually, the dirty money is now in form of assets and already in the legal financial system. According to the 2020 United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNACTAD, illegal financial flows of money laundering are estimated at $88.6 billion per year for Africa, Kenya being on the global limelight for the increased vice that has been enabled by a favorable environment of corruption. Money laundering is a global economic crime that in Kenya it has been categorized as a criminal offense. Such high-risk scheme carries a heavy penalty under the Kenyan laws. For a corporate body found involved in money laundering, a fine not exceeding 25 million Kenyan shillings or the amount of the property's value involved in the offense will be imposed. For individuals involved in money laundering, you get up to 20 years behind bars as the minimum jail term for laundering, or the extreme of death penalty for a capital economic crime. In a recent global twist of the 21st century on money laundering, or wash-wash as commonly known in Kenya, the United States of America brought the underworld operations to the limelight with the arrest of flashy, flamboyant and Nigerian billionaire Ramon Abbas, popularly known as Ash Puppy, who later in 2021 would admit to crimes of money laundering. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's FBI, Hush Puppy, as popularly known, collaborated with his accomplices, some of them being Kenyans, to acquire money fraudulently and later on cleanse them with the purchase of assets. Even though the money laundering or wash scheme continues to evolve into different versions, the authorities are finding it hard to deal with illegal financial flows into the economic system.
If we are not careful as Kenyans, let me say this today in public, if we are not careful, by the time we are done with this electoral cycle, we will have laundered criminals into our elective institutions, even up to about 40%. Money launderers, wash players, criminals, drug dealers, and all those, because they are the only ones who can access that amount of money. They will be writing laws for you.
Chris Sambo for Kirk TV.